G'day. You're watching the St Augustine's Anglican Church YouTube channel. This is the 29th of May and I'm recording this at about 7 p.m. And my name's Adam. I'm telling you the time because things have changed pretty quickly over the last few days, and even as I speak, I'm conscious that things could change again. No doubt you've heard the announcement from our Premier. There's been a lot going on in the background, so much that you're not privy to and I'm not privy to either. But to be plain, certainly as far as this weekend is concerned, there's no change. The premises remain closed. And this will remain the case until we hear from our bishop, because that's the order of things. There are some things that I can communicate, however. Clearly, we're progressing towards reopening, and there are two phases regarding that. One phase is getting our premises COVID-19 ready for day-to-day access by the general public. That's super important. We need to be ready before we can open. As I said, we're closed. I expect that to change though. The second phase is getting ourselves COVID-19 ready for church services. That's something else again. To facilitate both phases, in consultation with the wardens, Mike Pemberthy has accepted my appointment as our COVID-19 Coordinator. So 3 cheers for Mike. Hip hip. Okay, you get the idea. But this is an enormous job. It is so big. Mike, if you're watching, just block your ears. It's massive. Mike's being encouraged to get a COVID-19 task force team around him. I know it sounds fancy, but it's super important. We have obligations that we're going to need to fulfill in order just to get open and then to remain open. For example, before we open the premises, we need signage around the place. We need a sanitisation station. We need to record the contact details of every person who walks onto our site. We need to triage them, ask them questions. We need to clean. We need to clean. We need to clean again. And after we've cleaned, we need to clean again. And the list goes on. And what about church services? Well, again, there is no prospect of holding a church service until we can meet a checklist of requirements which the diocese will spell out to us. Okay, Adam, what's on the checklist? Answer, I haven't seen it. I don't know for sure. Now, our health minister, Mr. Hazard, funny name for a health minister, he has produced a checklist. I haven't seen it. No doubt the requirements of the diocese will reflect its contents, but I haven't seen that either. So, yep, you're getting the gist of this. There is a news report going around where the chief medical officer, I think it was, said, no singing. So we would need to hang up our harps in the event we held a church service. I suspect Holy Communion will not be offered either. But again, I'm only speculating at this point. But no, we need to give the government undertakings, and that will be reflected in the checklist. And of course, all of that will pass under the eyes of the wardens and the parish council, and then you'll get another announcement that spell things out much more clearly. At the moment, I want to say to you, the first step is to be COVID-19 ready to open the premises, the property. We need to do that, and then we need to be COVID-19 ready for church services. Now that checklist I was talking about, added to the checklist are things that I already know. And so as I consult with Mike, we already know that when we do open church, we're going to need about 5 or 6 people, as it stands now. 5 or 6 people at each church service as part of the COVID-19 task force. People that'll be on the job, serving. So it is a big task. Opening up for a church service under the present stipulations is not going to be easy. And so I know that Parish Council appreciate your prayers in this regard, and please be praying for Mike and his team. Know that Mike's job doesn't come with a cape, okay, I know, but it does come with a mask, medical mask, and maybe even it comes with a big pair of gloves. I'll have to get my hands on those. Again, please bear with us. Please keep doing the right thing. Remember the 1.5 metre distance or the 4 metre square space if you're in a lounge room or a space somewhere. Wash your hands. No physical contact. And please, please, please be safe. Take nothing for granted. People are graduating towards fuller lounge rooms on a Sunday, which of course, that is great. As you do that, do the right thing, please. Small Bible study groups have been getting together, that is true. And by small, I mean 2 to 3 people. That's small. And that's appropriate. I've split my larger group up because of the restrictions. And so I'm having multiple meetings to accommodate that. But if you belong to a larger group of, say, 6 or more, you need to know there's no green light from the diocese yet. All right, something pastoral for us to think about. It's worth saying that regarding this whole saga, we know the responses, the reactions kind of lie at opposite ends of a spectrum. And most of us lie somewhere in between. But, you know, on one hand, you might say we've got the doomsdayers who won't be coming near church anytime soon. Might be because they're higher risk. Maybe it's because of their job. They don't want to pass anything on, or maybe they don't want to pick something up and take it somewhere. Sounds reasonable. At the other end of the spectrum, we might call them the Pollyannas, where everything is fine. What are we worried about? They want to keep things positive, and they will say, the sooner we're back, the better. Some will be impatient about returning, and others are not going to come at it. And again, there are those that lie in between. And we need to understand that about one another, and I think we do, but it needs to be said. See, for as a church to move forward, how can we move forward as a church in beautiful unity rather than ugly division? Here is an opportunity for us to be different to the world. At a time when self-idolatry is being exposed in ugly ways, the church has an opportunity to model love that places the interests of others above self. For example, someone might find it personally difficult, even maddening, to have to stay 1.5 metres away from everyone else. All they want to do is have a hug, right? Or shake your hand. And you might think that these precautions are a needless overreaction. But here's the thing, even if it turns out that you're right, is it possible? Can you not sacrifice your ideal for a season out of love for others who believe the precautions are necessary? Even if you personally think this is all silly and ridiculous, for someone to stay home even after church is open again on Sundays, can you not heed Paul's wisdom in Romans 14, where he says, let us not pass judgment on one another any longer, but rather decide never to put a stumbling block or hindrance in the way of a brother. Or 1 Corinthians 8 verse 9, be careful, however, that your freedom does not become a stumbling block for the weak. Likewise, those who think the lockdown should continue should not pass judgment on those who question the wisdom of the government's ongoing restrictions. It works both ways. And so here is a moment for us to be humble and selfless and sacrificial at a time when the world needs more humility. Maybe as a church we can lead the way. So we model humility by acknowledging that not everything is obvious. We don't have all of the information, and we're all just trying to do the best that we can. We should be careful not to go faster than the government allows or faster than those in our community can understand. We should be patient with a timeline that might be slower than we'd prefer, patient with a reopening process that will doubtless be clunky, patient with leaders feeling the pressure of this complex situation, and patient with one another as we figure out the new norm. And by and large, I'm so proud of our church family, because I think on the whole, you're a great encouragement to me and Tinica as well, I know. Those who are not comfortable with physical gatherings should be patient with those who are, and vice versa. On it goes. Here's the last thing I want to talk about. The book of Revelation. Well done if you've been reading the book and absorbing it and trying to comprehend it. And well done if you've not. Okay, you've been reticent, reluctant, whatever the word is, maybe a little fearful, but you've pressed on, which demonstrates to me that you've trusted the words of Jesus, who says in Revelation chapter 1, what does he say about the book of Revelation? Blessed is the one who reads aloud the words of prophecy. Blessed are those who hear it and take it to heart what is written in it, because the time is near. The time is near. So this book is written for our blessing, for our comfort, for our encouragement. And so please persevere. Listen carefully to the Bible talks. I know that you are. I'm so encouraged by so many that they've read through it already, and there are parts that are daunting. But persevere that we might be blessed. And as we read it with one another, we might all share in the joy, the great blessing that it is to know our King Jesus, our Saviour and Lord. All right. God bless. That's all for me on a Friday night. That was 12 minutes. Too long. You'll see me Sunday. Bye now.